In the beginning, the need of the Jalsa was felt when it was not possible to hold the international Jalsa Salana in our center in Rabwa. All the countries where the Jamaat has been established started holding its Jalsa Salana in the respective countries.
Our community was founded in 1889 in Punjab, Qadian, India. And in 1891, the founder of our community, Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmed, the promised Messiah, had started the first Jalsa Salana. And the idea of the Jalsa Salana was to get members together to improve their spirituality.
After the division of India into India and Pakistan, Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat had set up its new center in Rabwa, and Jalsa Salana started being held in Rabwa. It continued till the ignominious ordinance by government of Pakistan, which actually shut off all activities, public activities of the Jamaat. And Jalsa Salana was one event that could not be held.
Now, as time had passed, we had members leave for all different countries around the world, and members came to Canada in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. And at that time, in the 60s, there was a joint Jalsa Salana happening with the United States. But in the late 70s is when the first Jalsa Salana of Canada was started.
I came in Canada in 1987, and I was told that Jalsa had started already here. And the first Jalsa Salana I attended was in David and Mary Thompson Collegiate Institute in Scarborough. And at the end of the Jalsa Salana, we had a photograph, and I still remember we have a photograph somewhere in which all the attendees of the Jalsa Salana can be seen in one photograph.
The idea was to replicate the Jalsa Salana that started in 1891 in Qadian, India, and then in subsequent countries. And over the period of time, more and more Ahmadi Muslims have come to Canada, and our Jalsa has grown to significant numbers, being one of the most major, well-attended Jalsa Salanas in the West.
The biggest challenge faced in the Jalsa Salana, according to my understanding, has been a suitable venue for the event. Of course, the event has, some of the event is like a conference, but it is more than a conference. We provide meals, facilities, and arrangements for prayers during the time of the conference, and some other requirements which differ from the requirements of a normal conference. So we needed to have some venue which would have flexibility to cater to our varying needs, as well as provide sufficient space for the gents and ladies.
Here in Canada, when we started it in the late 70s, we started in a small high school. It was indoors. And then we moved to a banquet facility. Then we actually came outdoors to our own national headquarters here at Beit al-Islam in Vaughan, Ontario, where at the time the community membership might have been around 5,000 or 10,000. But since then we've even outgrown our property, and then we had to move back indoors to one of the largest convention centers in Canada.
With the increasing numbers, we needed such facilities which would cater to our specialized needs. For a long time, we have benefited from the facilities of International Center on Airport Road, and a time came when we have outgrown the available facility in the International Center. And I remember during the last visit of His Holiness, when he addressed us in International Center, he commented that if you want to invite me next, you should have a bigger venue for your Jalsa Salana.
And so then there was this need to find a bigger facility, and the best way to do that was to secure our own property in Bradford, Ontario, where we have close to 300 acres. And this year we were able to have over 30,000 people attend the Jalsa Salana in Canada.
In Greater Toronto area, we have bigger facilities, but they have such conditions which are not favorable for us. For example, they would not allow our own food to be served, and the catering they provide is very expensive. We can't afford it. So we had to consider a facility which would be flexible to our growing needs, and as well as provide us the options of our specialized needs and services.
As we moved it to the west, we got into Western luxuries of being indoors with air conditioning and having the facilities of indoor facilities. But going back to the traditions of the Jalsa, of going outdoors and doing much of it ourselves, was a kind of a first-time experience again, even though we were doing it before, but not at this scale.
So luckily, about 15 years ago, north of GTA, we purchased a piece of land, about 200 plus acres, where we plan to move our Jalsa Salana.
So the main progression of the Jalsa Salana here in Canada, starting in the 70s and now to present 2024, is that it's been a growth of population. Our MD population, which started off with less than 100, is now in the tens of thousands, and our facility and our convention and our programming has to accommodate for that.
And then there was the challenge of preparing agricultural land to the use of heavy machinery, marquees, traffic in hot weather, in wet weather, during rain. So all of these factors combined. So we have been preparing to, we have been getting ready to prepare this land. And by grace of Allah, in July, the first weekend of July this year, 2024, we were able to hold our first Jalsa Salana on our own property.
So the similarities is that we've gone back to the roots, and the differences is that perhaps not only are we the largest Muslim convention in all of Canada, but because of it being outdoors, it's a very unique event that's happening here in Canada as well.
So the milestone has been that we are now on our own property, and we have a flexibility that for the next some years, with the growth anticipated, we would be good. We would be able to hold our Jalsa Salana on our own property for some years to come. The social teaching of Islam is summed up in our slogan, love for all,
Hatred for none.
My name is Lal Khan Malik. I'm the National President of Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat Canada. This is Kenny Basil TV. Please keep watching.